Accurate communication is a cornerstone of good care in any facility. A family caregiver may speak with many professionals within your facility and sometimes receive confusing or conflicting information. This program shows ways to effectively communicate with those very important family caregivers and provide them with an accurate and reassuring message.
Family members of residents can impact the environment of long-term care facilities. Satisfied, secure family members tend to be cooperative. Uncooperative family members tend to create chaos. Proper communication can lead to constructive relationships with the family members and affect the environment for the better. Communication should include consistent and accurate information about their loved one. It should also solicit feedback from the family about the resident when possible. Remember that Alzheimer's has two victims. First, the patient, and second, the family caregiver. Most caregivers are daughters or spouses who spent years and thousands of dollars caring for their loved one as dementia increased. Often, the family caregiver is emotionally, physically, and financially exhausted by the time they place their loved one in an assisted living facility or nursing home. But their concern does not end with this placement. It continues. Families want to believe that the selected facility will care for their loved ones as well as or better than the family did. By listening to the family, learning details about the residents' likes, favorite television shows, foods, the family members see that the environment is a caring place, sensitive to the individual. Trust is thus built and communication facilitated.
Welcome back, everyone, to Your Facility is in Jeopardy, a spinoff from our very popular TV show, Your Patient is in Jeopardy. Today, our contestants are Clueless Clara, a staff member at Mr. Winfield's facility, and Mr. Winfield's daughter, Wendy Winfield. We'll begin by having you select the first category, Wendy Winfield.
I'll take foods for 200.
Okay. The answer is peanut butter. Clueless Clara.
What is Mr. Winfield's favorite sandwich?
Wendy Winfield.
What is my dad allergic to?
That is correct. Clueless Clara, you not only lost $200, but you may have caused harm to Mr. Winfield. Wendy Winfield, you may select another category.
TV for 400.
Okay, let's take a look at TV for 400. The answer is Bonanza. Clueless Clara.
A TV show about crazy bananas.
Oh, I'm sorry, Clueless Clara. You are absolutely wrong. Wendy Winfield, do you know the question?
What is my dad's favorite TV program that comes on at 4 o'clock and he hates to miss it?
You are absolutely correct, Wendy Winfield. Well, it's time for us to take a break, but we'll be right back after these messages.
Shoot.
To keep the family's trust, staff should be knowledgeable about the patient's health and situations. Families seek facilities that have trained and motivated staff and may judge the facility on a staff member's knowledge about a patient and their disease or the staff's attitude and behavior. Concern for the residents should be shown in words, positive attitude, and actions. Mutual trust leads to effective communication.
And we're back. If you're just tuning in, Wendy Winfield is sweeping the board with $600. Clueless Clara has a lot of catching up to do with negative $600.
Shoot.
Okay, next round. Clueless Clara, pick a category.
I'll take behaviors for 600.
It sounds like you're trying to get out of that $600 hole. Well, let's look at behaviors for $600. And the answer is irritable. Well, one thing's for sure, you're quick on the buzzer, Clueless Clara. What's the question?
What is Mr. Winfield's attitude when he needs more medication?
Ooh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Wendy Winfield.
What is a side effect of my father's medication?
Good call, Wendy Winfield. There are many side effects to medication. Simply giving a resident more medication is never a solution. Okay, Wendy Winfield, pick a square.
Facilities for 800.
And the answer is Stonehenge Manor. Wendy Winfield.
What's the name of the new facility I'll be taking my dad to?
Correct. And you win the game. Congratulations, Wendy Winfield. Clueless Clara, it seems you do your residents more harm than good.
Shoot.
Oftentimes, families have learned a great deal about dementia. If the family has better knowledge than any staff member, licensed or unlicensed, the credibility of the facility can be jeopardized. If the family members lack information or have inaccurate information, then staff should help educate the family through printed materials, videotapes, and support groups if possible. Complicated questions should be referred to licensed professionals. Staff must realize they are constantly being scrutinized and so should behave respectfully at all times. Discussions should pertain only to information about which the staff member is knowledgeable. Families will often compare the information. If one staff member says one thing,
Mr. Houston is fine.
and a different staff member says something else,
Mr. Houston has a problem.
then problems can occur. Placement of the loved one in a facility does not end the family caregiver's stress, and stressed and distressed caregivers can become demanding or unreasonable and difficult to cooperate with. Staff should remember that this is not a direct personal attack, but a symptom of the situation surrounding dementia. Grief, guilt, and anger are common emotions for caregivers and may need to be dealt with via a licensed professional. In spite of the range of typical emotions caregivers' families feel, staff should be spoken to respectfully. Family members who are rude or disrespectful may need counseling or may benefit from a support group. Refer these persons to the supervisor. Sometimes the most difficult members are the irregular visitors who have not built a trusting relationship with the staff. They may arrive with many criticisms but little support or few suggestions. Family meetings and open communication can alleviate some of these problems. Good communication with family members helps everyone involved.
Welcome back to the show. We're here on the streets to find out just what the general run-of-the-mill person thinks about this subject. Let's see if we can find someone. Excuse me. Hi, I'm Jake Mento. I was wondering if you could take a minute to answer a few questions and just tell us how you would respond to these situations. Great. Here's the first question. The wife of a 75-year-old resident comes to visit. She becomes angry at the workers because her husband has 2 socks that don't match. The patient is well cared for, well groomed, and a difficult management problem. The woman cared for her husband at home for 5 years before she had a heart attack. What's the cause of her behavior?
She's mean. That's why he wanted to get out of the house.
She is physically sick and emotionally exhausted, and distress makes her grumpy.
You know, she's just mean, excessively demanding. She just thinks she's better than the rest of us.
She is so lazy. If it was so easy, why can't she come do it?
Okay, very good. Question 2. An elderly gentleman has Alzheimer's disease, and his caregiver daughter, who lives in town, is very thankful for your service. The daughter from California visits and severely criticizes the staff and the facility. The woman makes statements like, "We don't treat folks like this in California." Now, the staff attempts to address her questions. However, she becomes more insistent about mistreatment of her father. What should you do?
I'd say call the caregiver daughter and tell her she should deal with it.
I say provide the California caregiver with Alzheimer's disease information and deal with her in a polite, civil way.
I think I'd tell her to take her father back to California with her. Maybe she could do a better job.
Call that daughter up now and have her father removed from this bad care.
All right, next question. A new resident arrives in your facility with dementia of moderate severity. The patient lived at home with his wife until the caregiver suffered a stroke. Now the daughter has assumed caregiving responsibility. You offer the daughter some information, but she seems uninterested. What should you do?
Leave her alone. She seems to know what she's talking about.
Offer her printed materials on the outside chance that there might be some fine points she can learn.
I think in this situation you need to discharge because the family's being resistive.
You need to save the information of the families that want to come work with him.
Great, next question. You care for an 82-year-old man with Alzheimer's disease who has resided in your facility over the last 4 years. In the last 2 years, the patient has had multiple health problems and his function has deteriorated significantly. The caregiver's son is now angry at your facility because he claims that you've allowed Dad to slip downhill. What should you do?
The problem's unavoidable. I mean, all families are hard to deal with.
This problem could have been avoided had the nursing staff educated the family about the progressive nature of Alzheimer's disease.
I guess the problem would be with the facility, lack of care. I would probably be calling the attorney.
Well, this is another example of unreasonable families, and there's nothing you can do about it. Every family's this way.
Sounds good to me. Last question. A 78-year-old man is admitted to your facility by the daughter who lives out of state. The patient was a chronic alcoholic, and his wife cared for him until she had a stroke and was placed in a nursing home. The daughter has indicated that she will manage his finances. However, she does not wish to be called about other issues regarding the patient. What's the most likely explanation for her behavior?
Well, she's mean and heartless. She doesn't care about her father.
It seems her father has always been a difficult man, and she's trying as hard as possible to help with his care.
Come on, she's only interested in his money.
It seems like a spiritual defect to me. Any person would take care of this woman better.
Okay, fantastic. You guys were great. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. Well, that's it from here. We'll see you next time on The Jake Minto Show.